Fight for the future and identity of Europe has already started.
If you want to have a strong European Union, then you cannot vote right-wing. You can't.
What may happen after the election is that Renew, which are the Liberals, could lose some seats.
The balance of power is going to shift.
The rise of the far right. It's a phenomenon that's shaking democracies worldwide. From Europe to the Americas, far-right movements are gaining ground. But why is this happening? And more importantly, what can we do about it? We will cover all this, and it'll be an interesting ride, so don't go anywhere. If you like our discussion, please consider subscribing and be part of our lovely community. Feel free to drop us your comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. Now, let's get into it.
Politics, freedom of speech. People want to have a change of politics.
First, let's talk about the root causes. Economic factors play a huge role. Globalization has brought prosperity to many, but it has also left a significant number of people behind. Jobs have been lost, communities disrupted, and inequalities widened. When financial crises hit, like the one in 2008, these feelings of relegation only intensified. It's a known fact that far-right leaders have a firm grip on power in Turkey, Hungary, Italy, and more.
We are seeing in Italy a descent towards fascism.
Trump's polling lead in America is growing. The leading candidate to be the next Chancellor of Austria is openly using Hitlerian rhetoric in his campaign, and in the UK, the plates are shifting too.
We're building the wall, politically.
The work to fight back needs to accelerate hard, and it needs to involve all of us, and that begins with a clear-eyed understanding of what's really going on, where exactly we are, how we got here, and what's coming down the track. Then we can turn to the work of response, looking at what has already worked and what else might. This will not be a joyful conversation, but it will be an essential one. In Belgium, Germany, Finland, France, and Portugal, younger voters, especially men, have been backing parties of the far right in numbers often exceeding their elders.
France is due to vote in snap elections at the end of the month, and polls show the opposition far-right National Rally.
In these countries, leftist Green parties, which overwhelmingly took the youth vote in the recent past, have been losing ground.
In recent European elections, the far-right took in nearly 30% of the youth vote.
A similar shift is at work in the United States. Survey data earlier this year revealed that the former President Donald Trump
Thank you very much, everybody.
had been gaining support among young voters in a remarkable reversal of the established trend of young people in the US supporting the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I try and be nice to people, you know, but it's a little tough when they get personal.
The silent majority of young people, those not attending the climate and anti-war marches, seem to be driven by the same worries that keep the old awake at night. Cost of living concerns, and especially worries about affordable housing. Towards the end of the 20th century, national competitiveness in the globally integrated market became the policy priority. Governments across the ideological spectrum began slashing social spending and reducing employment security to help businesses become nimbler. This insecurity affected not just unskilled workers in precarious, poorly paid jobs, but also well-paid professionals who found themselves working longer hours and managing growing responsibilities as staff numbers were kept low to minimize overheads. Stress and burnout in the workplace have been on the rise for more than a decade.
The biggest increases in these groups' membership will come from the big countries of the EU, France, Germany, Italy.
The overwhelming concern for the majority of the 99% is precarity. They feel vulnerable politically, economically, culturally, and physically. It is this broad spectrum of vulnerability that the far right so masterfully harnesses with its typical policy formula of increased social protection. But why is the left failing to channel the anguish of the masses into a creative revolt in the name of a better life for all? Insecurity triggers a quest for safety and thus nurtures a conservative fear of change, or worse, a reactionary longing for autocratic shortcuts to stability.
Now, something unthinkable is happening.
Rapid social changes create a sense of uncertainty and fear. People are drawn to simple, decisive answers, which far-right rhetoric often provides. So, what can we do about it?
In the Second World War was not that long ago. Have people forgotten?
First, we need to strengthen our democratic institutions. Ensuring the rule of law and protecting electoral integrity are crucial. Democracy must work for everyone, not just a select few. The internet has become a breeding ground for far-right ideology, with forums, social media platforms, and encrypted communication channels being used for recruitment and coordination. Education is a powerful tool. Teaching democratic values, human rights, and the dangers of extremism helps build a resilient society. We need to create and promote positive narratives that celebrate diversity and unity. Media and communication are very important. Encouraging responsible journalism and regulating online platforms to control hate speech can limit the far right's reach. Perhaps worst of all, economic insecurity is politically devastating. It directs all our efforts toward finding and stabilizing sources of income.
We will support them with the necessary funding and provide them with the much-needed predictability they deserve,
leaving neither time nor energy for larger battles about the kind of life we want to live. If we want people, old as well as young, to think big again, to embrace the sacrifices that are needed in the name of a healthier planet and a more peaceful world, they need to be offered some economic stability, not the implausible promises about equality and affluence the mainstream parties invariably pledge. Economic stability is an unglamorous value, but without stable ground, we cannot walk tall and reach for the skies. The rise of the far right is a complex issue driven by economic hardships, cultural fears, political disillusionment, and the psychological impacts of rapid social change. To counteract this trend, we must strengthen our democratic institutions by ensuring judicial independence, protecting electoral integrity, and making democracy work for everyone. Promoting inclusive economic policies is also crucial.
In the way that the European Parliament has operated, and it could mean quite a decisive change.
We need to address economic inequalities and implement social programs that foster integration and community cohesion. Enhancing education is another key step. Teaching democratic values, human rights, and the benefits of diversity can help build a resilient society. Encouraging responsible media practices is vital as well. Supporting balanced journalism and regulating online hate speech can limit the spread of far-right ideologies. Finally, fostering political engagement is essential.
Vote is closed.
Mainstream parties must reconnect with voters through inclusive policies, and grassroots movements that encourage democratic participation should be supported. By understanding the root causes and working together across different sectors, we can uphold democratic values and build an inclusive future where everyone feels valued. Thank you for watching. Let's stay engaged, informed, and committed to building a more inclusive democratic world. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and discussions. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this important conversation. Together, we can make a difference. Thanks, and I will catch you in the next one.